Hello, it's Dongo here for RT-N66U, and in my work, I have to deal with crazy names, and this device right here is no exception. It's the RT-N66U Dark Knight double 450 megabit per second N router from Asus. Let's just settle with Dark Knight. It's a good name anyway. Now the Dark Knight looks great, more like a box of chocolates or jewelry than a networking device. But it cannot pretend to be one because you can see here it has 3 detachable antennae sticking up from the back. Now on the back you can see you have 4 LAN ports and 1 WAN port. All of these ports are gigabit, meaning you have the fastest wide network with this router. There's also the WPS button, the reset button, the power button, and a tiny power port right here. Now the router has not 1 but 2 USB ports. Also, its USB port offer more function than just the support for an extra hard drive or printers. On the front here, you can see the usual array of LED light that show the status of the port on the back and other functions of the router. Now, this is the first N900 router from Asus. That means it can work on both the 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz bands at the same time, with each band offering 450 megabits per second standard. This is called the 3x3 standard. Now, in order for you to take advantage of that higher speed, the client also have support the 3x3, but if they don't, the router also work with all existing clients. In my testing, it worked great, especially in the 5 GHz bands. It also offers very good coverage with long range and very stable signal. Now the router has common features such as the guest networking feature, parental control, the support for IPv6, and others. It also has a rather unique feature including a network maps, traffic managers, and also a VPN server, which allows you to create a virtual private network for remote user to connect home securely. Now the router is not perfect, and I found a few funny things about it. For example, you can use the web interface to check for the firmware and update the router to it. However, even when the router is already updated with the latest firmware, the web interface still says there are newer versions out there. Now that's kind of fun, but the only way for you to know when there is actually a new version of firmware out there is to go to Asus website. The second kind of odd thing about the router is the fact that it comes with this base right here. Now, from the look of the base and the look of the bottom of the router, I would assume that you put them together like this for the router to work in the vertical position. However, when I try to do that, there's a little bit of plastic sticking out from here, staying in the way, making it impossible for them to fit. So I would think if I break this piece off, that would work. Now let's try out. Voila, now it's broken. So let's see, they're gonna fit now. And it fit. I don't know whether or not there's the defect in the mold, or maybe Asus want to play a practical joke with us. But sometimes you have to break it to make it work. Now, those little things do not mean this is not a good router. In fact, it's one of the best N900 router on the market. And at $180, it's actually cheaper than its peers. For more information, check out the full review at RT-N66U. My name is Dongo, and this has been the first look at the Dark Knight router from Asus.